We'll now move on to Tracey Norton from the United Kingdom. She belongs to the UK chapter of Support Not Separation, the same network as Pat and Carolyn's. She also belongs to the Disabled Mothers' Rights Campaign, and she will tell us about social services in the United Kingdom.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be speaking to you today here from London, England, on behalf of Support Not Separation and also the Disabled Mothers' Rights Campaign, which is part of WINvisible, Women with Visible and Invisible Disabilities, one of the groups in our coalition. And as you've just heard, we also work closely with Give Us Back Our Children in the US. I'm a mother with an invisible disability, and I have a severely disabled child who was taken from me not because I'd harmed him, but because of disability discrimination. The state wanted to stop paying the support money we were legally entitled to, which I'd fought hard so that I could keep him safe at home. And they also wanted to cover up hospital mistakes by blaming me for them. In care, my son was abused, denied medical care and education. And finally, when I got him home with the help of Support Not Separation, my smiling, funny child had lost his love of life and smile, something I think the movie shows. What we're facing in the UK, as in the US and many other countries, is tens of thousands of children being taken from loving mothers in secret courts, snatched because of poverty, sexism, racism, class, and disability discrimination. Most children are not taken because they have been harmed, but because successive governments have cut funding for the support for families in favour of privatised child removal industry. They want to maintain men's power over women and children. So when mothers report domestic abuse, they take the children from us and put them in care or give them to the violent fathers. Support Not Separation includes organisations of single mothers, women of colour and asylum seekers, refugees, women with disabilities, rape survivors, breastfeeding advocates, kingship carers, psychotherapists, men and former social workers committed to defending mothers and children against unwarranted separation and the devaluing of the mother-child relationship. The Global Women's Strike is part of Support Not Separation, has an international network which includes rural women in India who are organising against the bonded labour and domestic violence and for natural farming. We're sorry not to have seen the film beforehand, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's something that will closely touch my heart. It's a great victory for the movement of mothers everywhere that it is being shown widely in cinemas. It's not often that we see our struggles reflected on the big screen, and we're delighted to be in touch with the women in India who are fighting against the brutality of the child welfare system, just as we are here. Since 2017, we have monthly protests outside the family court in central London and also on Twitter with a Twitter storm to expose what's happening inside the courts. We also have collective monthly self-help meetings at the Crossroads Women's Centre in London, where we're based, and also online, where mothers exchange tactics, drawing on their own experiences and the experiences of all the organisations based at the centre which are working with Support Not Separation. And this pulling together of our experiences and expertise, called collective self-help, has been successful in winning cases and building the mothers' movement against the state removal of child removal. We have a blog and we have an online self-help guide, which we always refer women to and which you can all access. We're now in touch with hundreds of mothers, as well as grannies and other primary carers. And last November, we published our latest research based on the cases we've been involved in fighting. And we will tell you that nearly all of the mothers were single mothers, and disproportionately women of colour, immigrants, disabled, and victims of domestic abuse. Over 4 million children in the UK now live in poverty, and poverty is used by the state, together with domestic violence, to claim that the mother is neglecting the child and the children should be taken away from her. Women don't report domestic abuse for fear the state is going to take away their children and give them to the violent man. There are over 82,000 children in care in England and Wales, and this includes a disproportionate number of children of colour, including those taken because their immigrant parents are denied state funds, and disabled children. Children in the poorest neighbourhoods are at least 10 times more likely to be removed than children in the most affluent ones. And the increasing privatisation of children's services has led to the fostering and adoption becoming a highly profitable industry worth millions, which depends on a continual supply of children. It's great that this point is mentioned in the film, and it's not surprising that the Norwegian government has denied it, a bit like this country. 90% of children are adopted in the UK without the wishes of their parents, of their natural family. We see every day social workers, psychologists, judges, and even our own lawyers dismiss the mother-child bond and the importance of mothers in children's lives. Mothers are the first protectors and are being tortured by the constant threat that their children will be taken, knowing the heartache and the trauma the child faces. Mothers and kinship carers are organising all over the UK and internationally. And recently, this movement we are part of won a pilot project here in the UK where reporters are allowed into 3 courts to report anonymously on these cases. This is a small step, as we want the courts to be open so that they are publicly accountable for the decisions that they make in these closed courts. And as well as opening the courts, we demand that the right of children to their mothers, their first carer and their protector. We value the crucial bond between the mother and child and the right to support, including financial support. We are calling for a care income for the caring and protective work mothers or grandmothers do. We must stop children being taken because of poverty, camouflaged as neglect, and we must stop the decisions based on sexism, racism, class, and disability discrimination. Stop adoptions without the consent of the mother and birth family, and end privatisation of children's services. No profiting from the cruel separation of children from their families. Thank you for inviting us to speak here, and we very much hope that we can be in touch to build this international movement of mothers who are children's first protectors.